Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, tonight's statement is Days of Our Lives celebrates 40 years of Melissa Reeves as Jennifer Horton. Oh man, it was a little kind of tough to sit down and watch this episode because she's been acting like a goddamn Karen for a hot minute. And we're going to talk about this episode. We are. But let's sit there and do roll call, get this started. Amy's in the chat, how you doing tonight? GH fan is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Anthony, the number one YouTuber is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Yo, check your comment section now because I asked you a question. Blackma, aka Mr. GQ is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Dolomatics is in the chat, how you doing tonight? So yeah, you have Melissa Reeves, you had the other girl too. I can't remember what her name is. It's gonna come to me, or I'm gonna have to sit there and look it up. But yeah. Those are some interesting flashbacks, and we'll sit there and talk about that as well. I'm only going to be on for about like an hour and 20 minutes, give or take, because I have to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is depressing. But I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm doing good, Black Man. I had off today. I got all the soap operas done at 4 o'clock. It was actually quite amazing. I was very proud of myself. Um, had like no time for video games, but I was literally done by everything by 4 o'clock. Feeling very productive. And I got laundry done too. So um make sure the sound is good. I hope everyone had a great day, by the way. You know how we do. Hit the like button because it does actually help. I hope everyone had a great you know how we do. Hit the like button because it does actually help. What's good, Sean? How you doing tonight? Hope all is well with you. Autumn's in the chat. Hmm. How are you? I'm cool with Nathan being back. I'm cool with Nathan being back. How do you feel about it, Ryan? Autumn says, "Hey, what irks me about Willow? She's bitching like, oh, you don't trust me.' I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Of course, Mike, I don't trust you. You something you should be thankful he's letting you see them at all. Um, as long as they give him a good story, Brit's oof, she's been on one. She's been on one hard body. Um, how many times is Jason going to be blackmailed, right? I don't see why it wouldn't be. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be Ryan. Um, I know everyone's thinking it could be Peter, it could be Faison. I mean, until they do something, because I don't know. I don't usually play those type of what if sort of games, but I mean, for right now, it doesn't seem like he's anybody else except for Nathan. He doesn't really give me an indication that he's not. So I'll sit there and say yes so far. What about you, Ryan? What do you think? Um, but Autumn, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in like a hot minute though. It's like, damn, whatever happened to Autumn? Jocelyn, what's good, Allison? Jocelyn threw Vaughn under the bus. Did Jack tell you to say that, like those specific things? Because he had to sit there and work extra hard just to sit there and get Carly back, right? He had to work extra hard to sit there and get Carly back. And I'm like, I don't know if he told you to do that. Like, you kind of went a little off script. Like, yeah, you're supposed to distract Carly, but like, um, I'm like, I don't know if you were supposed to do all that. I'm good, Allison. I had the day off. Got a lot done. Very happy with myself. Um, I don't know. I felt like, honestly, to tell you the truth, I felt like Spinelli was so pointless in this episode. He was so pointless in this episode. I was like, why even here for it? That's my whole thing. Like the conversation with Spinelli and yeah, Allison. I just I woke up early. I want to get things done early. Got my laundry done. And like I said, I was done with all the soap operas at 4 o'clock. I was very happy with myself. Um, but yeah, I just like Spinelli was just so pointless in this episode. Like I don't even understand. I don't understand what was the point of having a conversation with Nathan. Like all he pretty much told him was, okay, we need to sit there and be consistent when it comes to us, James. He needs a routine. Needed for what though? I mean, like what? Okay, so like, what purpose did he serve in today's episode? That's my whole thing. I don't feel like the writing was that was the point to show his insecurity. So the point of their conversation was to show him being insecure. Oh, that was pretty fucking stupid. I don't know what his point was. I mean, I guess that's your take on it. I respect your opinion. I didn't see a purpose in him actually being on today. Like he accomplished absolutely nothing. Also felt like I felt like he accomplished nothing. I felt like the only thing that Dante and Anna actually accomplished was to sit there and realize that Nina lied about her whereabouts, and now Willow doesn't have an alibi. I still don't understand. Um, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like this is my whole thing, right? When they start doing stuff like that, the only thing that you can sit there and fall back on is the fact that you appreciate. Um, I think it's time for me to get some Benadryl. What's good, Ronnie Ron? Like, I don't understand why they think that Willow would do it. I know Dante keeps me to saying, "Well, you can only drive somebody to a certain point before." What's good, Lady V? How you doing tonight? Um, but I'm like the whole point. Facts, facts, Autumn. Um, Sophia's annoying, and Sarah pretty much just wants to know the truth. Well, Sarah wants Sophia to tell the truth, and Sophia is her usual selfish self. So um, I'm very curious to sit there and see who the father of the child is. I would sit there and say that much. And the fact that she was just like, no, it can't be. It can't be that person. Just really made me think just how dumb Sophia actually is. So that's my thoughts, Ron. Allison, I mean, Soap Dirt has sat there and said that. So unless they show that scene tomorrow, which I didn't see the promos, so maybe I'll watch the promos tonight. But I'm like, unless he does that tomorrow, I don't understand what's the point of him allowing. What's good, Rosemary? I don't understand what's the point of allowing Willow to sit there and see the children. And Willow's not there whining and complaining. Oh, I can only see them during supervised visits. Oh, you have all the power and this, that, and the third. I'm like, Willow, how about you just shut up and be grateful you can see the kids? I think that ruling was absolute bullshit, if we're going to be honest, but that's just me. Um, Willow was out of pocket. And listen, I'm gonna sit there and stay saying this. Willow was out of pocket. for the stuff she did, but it should have never ended up with her losing her kids. That's always going to be an out of pocket thing. What's good, Eagle Chad, ex mom in law, has too much to say about who Chad chooses to date in his life. Kind of ruined her own 40. Facts, Eagle. Fucking facts. What's good, Double C? Yeah, I did, Double C. 8 o'clock sharp. Yes, I was here on time. I felt like I was just I felt like I was just literally firing in all cylinders. It's pretty damn amazing actually. Um yeah, and that's not and that's the thing though, Eagle. Like it it was one of those things where it's like it was very difficult to sit there and enjoy um her 40th anniversary when she's just acting like a goddamn Karen, you know? My whole thing now is like now that he dumped Kat, I want Julie, I want Jennifer, and I want Thomas to all shut the fuck up. That's what I want them to do. I seriously want Jennifer to shut her goddamn mouth now. Murray annoyed with Thomas because you could be mad and upset, but you hella out of pocket for sitting there talking to your father like that. A child needs to stay in a child's place. Like that should just rub me the wrong way. Like you be giving these damn kids a little bit too much freedom. And how do you sit there and make how do you sit there and make Rachel even more unlikable than she already is? I don't know, but they sure as hell found the way to do it. I did like the flashbacks. Like there was something about seeing like retro soaps or that's just really interesting. Like Jack did sit there and talk. Oh, I saw that was a Jen episode and turned it off 2 minutes in. Yeah. Um Jack did act like an asshole to Jennifer. And I felt like that reflected the times. That reflected the times, you know? Man being empowered and that they're talking down to a woman. Oh yeah, no, that was definitely a product of the times. It's like how Robert Scorpio used to sit there and talk to Anna Devane, like way back in the 80s. Allison says, "Can you see Days clips on YouTube?" Yeah. hmm Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. Days clips is harder to find. Days clips is way harder to find. What do you mean, like old clips, Allison? Or what do you mean by that? Like, if you're talking about like today's episode, I don't remember Samantha saying that, Ron. Let's not put words in my mouth. Um, oh, like today's shows. That's a good question. Let me see. I know it's a little bit harder. It seems like it's a little bit harder to do because it's on Peacock now. Yeah, it's a little harder to sit there and try to find. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it's so hard to sit there and find, but yeah. Yeah, I can't find it. And I just did a quick search and I can't even find it. Um, no, Ron, I don't think that Amy's gonna sit there and choke her own daughter. Don't really know why your mind would actually go there, but okay. No, I don't. Yeah, and that's because it's on Peacock now, so it's a little harder to sit there and find like current clips. Is it because of the whole Brit stuff, Sean, or just in general? Just curious. I'm curious to see it after all these years. Yeah, it is. It is, Rosemary. It's very difficult. Like I because sometimes I just in general, because sometimes I just sit there and I see if they're gonna show a whole episode, even if it's like the fugly kind. And yeah, they made it a lot more difficult now that it's on Peacock. So, which is weird because like I could sit there and find Pat. Yeah, they Double C says Daily Motion has it. Okay, well there you go. Rosemary, if I mean and Allison, if you type up Daily Motion, it may have it on there. I used to go there when I used to sit there and try to watch The Bold and the Beautiful. Um, Before I had like my cable box installed or whatever, I would go in there to sit there and try to watch that stuff. So yeah. Let me see something. Really? What is it called, Albert? No, it's called Daily Motion. Yeah, that's what it's called, Daily Motion. I I heard that he did respond to it. Um, I'm just gonna plug my tablet up so this way I don't lose any power on it because that's gonna be annoying. Yeah, I heard that wrong. I gotta read the whole article though. I want to see exactly what he said. Oh, and the date. Yeah, Allison says the Daily Motion is on website. No, it's his own website, Allison. So you just go on Google and you just type in Daily Motion. Um, and then in the search bar you just type in what you call it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean I don't blame him. Oh, of course, Rosemary. Yeah, no, double C. Yeah, just follow what double C says. He's on point with that. Yeah, Ryan, I gotta read the article. I know that people don't like the writing of the show, but people have been liking the writing of the show before. They never want the show canceled. I think they want the show canceled because of the way that they're writing it as far as male victims go. You know, they're not they're doing a disservice to any and all males that have ever had to sit there and deal with being essayed, right? And I gotta read it to get a little more clarity. But I mean, if he says something to that effect, he's not entirely wrong. Um, yeah, it's always funny when people sit there and say, "I want a show to be canceled." It's like you could just simply stop watching it, right? I never understood that. I never understand when people sit there and say, "I want this show to be canceled because I don't like it." Like you're not the center of the universe. I don't understand how that. I don't understand how that level of twisted thinking works. Like, sounds very egotistical. Well, I mean, yeah, I understand that, Ron. I'm just saying, like, people want something canceled. It's like you could just simply stop watching it. Like, I feel like that's such a Karen like attitude to sit there and want a show to be canceled. Like, that's not how that works. So I never understood that. I'm like, I've been going off the cuff for a hot minute. I have a whole goddamn, like, I literally wrote a whole damn thing tonight. Um, and Ryan is back. But yeah, Carly was upset with Brennan, and I understood that because, she's like, hey, listen, this isn't about you keeping government secrets. This is about you putting my daughter's life in danger. Like, I get that part. That's why I never understood Alice. And people's like, I want this show to be canceled. Why? Because I don't like it. I'm like, and who the fuck are you? Like, you're not the center of the universe. Like, I don't get that. I feel like that's just such a self-centered attitude. Other people like it, but you want to cancel because you don't like something. Um, I thought that was gonna be enough to sit there and break those two up. Um, so I was surprised that she even allowed him to hug. Mm, I feel like that's okay. I'm not gonna lie, Ron. I feel like that's a little bit too controlling. If he sees any negativity about the show wanting to be canceled, he'll block them or delete the comments. That's a little bit too controlling. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and tell people, "Oh, well, you can't sit there and say something negative about the show." Like, okay, well then I'll just go on somebody else's channel and feel like I'm able to talk more freely. Like I don't understand that. Like, if you are saying something racist or sexist or homophobic or whatever, like I understand you wanna get rid of those people. But you're telling people, well, you can only say something positive. Like, what? Domac says, so here's a hot take. Why is Carly mad when she's been putting her own kids in danger for years? Because spending your life with a mobster isn't dangerous. Facts. Fucking facts. 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 Something I never liked about Carly. You know, she is self centered as hell. She put her own happiness above her own kids' well being. Been sniffed there with a mobster for years. You chose him over Jax. F out of here. Um, yeah, yeah. That pretty much kind of sums that up. It is, I'm not gonna lie, it is getting a little bit more hard to sit there and watch these Brit and Jason scenes. Jason Smith, they're trying to be nice to Brit, and Brit is constantly giving him nothing but attitude. Yeah, okay, Ryan. Well, you have a good night. It's great to see you again. And yeah, hopefully it works better tomorrow. Kind of sucks with when that stuff starts acting out. Trust me, I get it. But yeah, um, I think I'm just kind of used to. Well, I don't know if how many people. I guess people are still watching GH. So we'll talk more about GH. Um, but yeah, it's just getting annoying watching Britt constantly be nasty to Jason. You know, like the shit is it's starting to run its course. And I've looked at the previous tomorrow with Tracy, and once again, her whining, complaining, and bitching is just getting so damn annoying to watch. Well, I'm not gonna. They're not gonna sit there and curse her out, Ron. Not the people on my stream, so I don't have to worry about that. Rosemary says Brit is yeah, she's it's starting to wear on people, you know. It's starting to wear on people. I'm like, Brit, you've been back for like a hot minute. You're already starting to get kind of annoying. Like, don't get me wrong, people were really excited when they heard that she was coming back. And then she came back and it's just like, okay, you're getting pretty annoying now. Like you're getting kind of annoying now. And don't get me wrong, Carly has this attitude where she feels that she can be the only she wants to be the only woman in Jason's life. And I'm like, she could be married to somebody else for 5 years, but she'll still sit there and meddle in Jason's affairs when it comes towards somebody else. So I think with Britt is like the other need to soften her up or kind of send her packing. Like it because this shit is just not working. And like I said, I played that clip yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of gonna sit there and play it again when Ryan was in here, when Jay's fan was in here, because I know he's a Carly fan. And I was just gonna sit there and remind him just how bad and annoying Carly can actually be. Ryan, you don't know she's in menopause. What are you talking about? You have no idea she's in menopause. You're the only person I would sit there and be talking about that anyway. Which does lead me to Portia. Portia's pregnant. She's either going to stay with Curtis, because let's be honest, she can't sit there and start a life with Isaiah and being pregnant. So, like, what is she going to do? She's going to stay with Curtis until she starts the show. Isaiah is going to be asking a lot of questions. What is she going to do? Do a fake pregnancy test and then just show Isaiah? Oh well, it's really. What makes you think that, Sean? Um, because I mean, what is she going to do? Fake a pregnancy test and show Isaiah, and Isaiah just going to be like, "Oh, you're right. Listen, you don't have a history of Smith there like messing with tests and stuff like that." I totally believe you. Totally believe you. So, like, how is that going to work? That is my question. How is that going to work? You just feel okay. I'm very curious about there's stuff that's not adding up with Brit. I really want to know the rest of the backstory. Like, how does she survive that attack? Um, Now they have some sort of miracle drug that can slow her her Huntington's disease. She'll probably try to pass it off as Curtis's. Yeah, she gonna pass it off as Curtis's. And granted, it could be Curtis's child. How is Trina gonna sit there and take it? Because they're gonna sit there and bring back Trina. Like Trina, Trina has had a rough go of it on this show. Trina has really had a rough go of it on this show. And it seems like, again, to this date, that her best stuff was with Spencer. They're still giving her stuff. That's the thing. People will sit there and be upset and be mad and be like, how come Trina's not getting a story? Trina's getting a story. You may not like the story that Trina's getting, but she's getting a story. And what is Drew's next move? Because I saw him in the previews. Sean says Trina bores me as much as Carly. Um, I'm assuming we mean bores. Yeah, she's getting a story. It may not be the one that the fans may want. Maybe not be the antithesis of what she had before. Yeah. Well, Ron, maybe he's right. Trina's not going to like it at all. Oh, she's gonna be pissed. She's gonna be pissed. Once again, you got Mob Dukes that they keeping secrets. Yes, Allison says Drew is trying to frame Michael for a shooting. Yes. So that's his next move. But now he doesn't have any leverage over Portia and Curtis. Put Trina with Isaiah. I'm pretty sure people will sit there and whine about what you call it. What's good, Adams? I enjoy seeing the history of Jennifer and Jack, but I'm over her bringing out Kat and Julie. Yeah, exactly, Ed. Yeah, it was nice to sit there and see a flashback, but like once you go past that, it starts to starts to well, it's Bannerang, of course, to be honest. But no, Ron, I think that people will be upset with the age gap. It's like again, I feel like people are going to be upset with the age gap between Ari and Theo, which even Danny yesterday was like, she's legal. She is of legal age to sit there and give consent and everything like that. And I feel like, I'm not even going to get into it because I know some people don't like age gaps or whatever, but like it's legal, it's fine, and everything's going to be okay. I feel like sometimes people are just very judgy and have their own personal issues or something. And other things I'm not going to get into, but that's the, you know, unless Drew finds out about the affair, about Portia's affair, yes. But I feel like that's one of those things that's going to be easily rectified. Like she was already going to sit there and turn herself in. She was already going to sit there and turn herself in with the blackmailing stuff. What's good, Caroline? Let's everyone say what's up to Caroline. Um, I feel like at that point she would just sit there and just tell the truth. She would just sit there and tell Portia the truth. Um, because she was already gonna sit there and try to tell the truth, and if that meant going to jail, oh well. So I feel like he's gonna need something a little bit bigger to sit there and control Portia. Well, that's the thing. They already did age her up. She's over 21. She's 21, so it's not like they have to age her up. That's the thing, Ed. Let me tell you something. People are gonna be upset with the age gap regardless. There's some people that are just upset with that, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're just very judgy. She's already yeah. Oh, she's not 18. Oh, you're right. She's 18. Yeah, you're right. Also, what? She's 18. She's fucking legal. So, like, if people have a problem with that, let them bitch and complain. 18 is legal. So, anybody that don't like that, they can sit there and kick rocks. Um, yeah, that's how I'm choosing to look at that. We do know Theo and H. I don't know what that means. What's good, Krista Ramirez? How you doing tonight? Hope all is well with you. Yeah, that's true. They are in the same age group. Domex says I thought they just had. Yeah, they did. She turned 18. Yeah, she turned 18. Yep. Like I said, that is legal. But I know how some people tend to be like, "Oh my God, there's names got difference. That's so bad." And blah 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 blah. Like, okay, well, you know what? It's legal. So if you don't like it, kick rocks. Yeah. Um. Danny Bear 87. I mean, at this point, Ryan, why not? Yeah, Julie and Jennifer act like a bunch of goddamn Karens. So, and it's not like it's not technically as big as the age gap with Brady and Kristen. Hmm. So remember, as you're coming in, make sure you do hit the like button because it really does actually help and understand that I cannot sit there and get to every single comment, and I'm not gonna sit there and try, especially not when I'm drinking. But even before I was drinking, um, Ed, let me tell you something about Andre and Bill. My issue is Haley. You know, I talked about Haley and I talked about how she's sitting there playing Boo Boo the Fool, right? She's been playing Boo Boo the Fool since the first episode. Well, Danny, I'm sitting there talking about how some people will sit there and whine and complain and bitch and everything like that about, oh my God, Theo's so much older than Ari. He's a predator, blah, 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 blah. He aged Kristen while aging Brady up. But as an old school watcher, I never forgot that Brady was an elementary school student when John and Kristen were together. Wow. Thank you, Rosemary. Yes, hit that like button because it does help. Ed says, I like how Andre handled Bill's jealousy with his big ego today. Yeah, I kind of read that. I did talk about that. I did hint at that. Um, what the fuck? Danny says, I've seen a scene where Kristen holding baby Brady. What do they call that? Rocking the cradle or something like that? Robbing the cradle, I think, right? But, Haley coming over Danny's place and that they're trying to get Bill, like, Bill, where are you, Bill? Busy, Danny? You didn't watch any of the soaps today. Um, I'm like, you look like beautiful. Danny was like, this is how it starts. You may smell some perfume or some cologne or whatever. And my whole thing was like, you do realize that when you were with Bill was married to Danny. You are the other woman. And now you getting all jealous and insecure and thinking that, Bill ran over to Danny's place. I'm like you look stupid as hell. Like, did you picture how this is how your marriage was gonna sit there and go? You want to be sitting there chasing after your damn husband, trying to find him in your ex's place? Like, what are you doing at this point? I don't, I'm like, you look like an idiot. And Danny's sitting there laughing at your ass. Ed says, I'm glad Spinelli got back in Brit's face. I didn't like her dismissing him. It was annoying, but she's been on one all day. Like she was on it with she was on one with Jason. I just my whole thing is like he got back up in the face, but I don't even remember what the conversation was about. Like what was Spinelli even snitching trying to ask Brit besides, oh well, we know nothing about your whereabouts and this, that, and that. I felt like the whole conversation was just pointless. And I said this before you got here. I didn't understand Spinelli's conversation with Nathan. I felt like it was pointless. I felt like Spinelli being on the episode was pointless. Just pointless all around. But I'm like, Bill, what are you doing? You got a whole ass wife at home and you sit there lying about your whereabouts. And the fact that Haley had to sit there and call Caroline to confirm where Bill was going is a problem. You should never have to be sitting there trying to call to find out your whereabouts or where your husband's going. If you're doing that, your marriage is already in trouble. And with Haley, she's too stupid to sit there and notice. Yeah, it feels like he's done with her, you know? I mean, she looks good, don't get me wrong. I think that she looks way better than Danny personally, but like, Danny's not insecure like that. But Haley is, and I'm like, the fact that you allow your man to sit there and make you feel insecure and make you feel like you're in second place, like that, and that's that. I mean, granted, that's another thing. Like, if with Haley knowing that Bill has kids with Danny, and they're always going to be each other's lives, and like you chose to sit there and do that. So when their child went missing, she started trying to make it all about her. I'm like, Bill, how did you get mixed up with somebody like that? Like, damn, like, yo, I get that she looks good and everything like that, but you don't let your joystick sit there and make all the decisions for you. Like this is what happens when you let your joystick make decisions for you. But Danny got him and they have fun. Danny only acts wild after he cheated on her with Haley. She pretty much let him live before. Yeah, and that was a mistake. Um, that's how he was though. Like he was a constant cheater. He was a constant cheater, and that's why Danny was sitting telling her like, "Yo, listen, this is what he does. You didn't listen, and you knew that. You knew his history. That's why it's very difficult for me to sit there and have any empathy or sympathy for her. Just like I have no sympathy for Vanessa. All those crying and tears and shit. I'm like, I don't feel anything for you. And Joey. So Joey talks about his mom being addicted to plastic surgery, and that's how she wound up dying. That was a page out of Kanye West and his mother that wound up passing away because she was getting plastic surgery a lot. Most people don't know that because they may not know who Kanye West is. So yes, Ed. It's funny. I said that before you got in. I was like, how does Sophia just assume that it was Tate, even though she slept with somebody else? Like, I don't get that level of thinking. If it was just Tate that she slept with, and then she found out that it wasn't him, the fact that she was so dumbfounded, like, but it couldn't be. Oh my God, I can't believe it's not Tate. I'm like, is this chick serious? And Ed, I'm looking forward towards Chanel and Johnny confronting Sophia because now they know that's most likely Sophia. I mean, yeah, she wanted it so bad that she just believed it. Like, that's just a level of stupidity that I can't wrap my brain around. She wanted that so bad that she just turned her brain off to the possibility that could be anybody else except for Tate. And of course, her selfish ass is not there saying, well, don't just get over it. I'm like, Sophia, whenever this story is over, um, I can't wait for you to fucking leave. Not to mention that once again, for the 45th thousand time, um, that actress can't act for shit. Like she does such a piss poor job. It is, it is so difficult to sit there and watch her damn scenes. Even when she tries to do those expressions, those surprise expressions, those nervous expressions, it's like her eyes just go fucking everywhere, and it's just like, uh, I, I, I can't. Yeah, Ron. Unfortunately, she ain't coming back though. So she chose to leave, and that is that. But they chose not to sit there and keep trying to find somebody. Like, how do you just sit there and say, "Oh, we're just gonna settle for her"? Like, at least with GH, they actually went through a couple of mollies before they found the right one. Um, Well, Ed, what reason does Holly have to come back? What reason? What possible reason, Ed, does Holly actually have to come back? See, and that's another thing. Don Max says, "I can't believe this generation of Days of Our Lives, Days fans is stuck with great value Jan Spears." Yeah, she's a knockoff of Jan Spears. She sucks being an actress, not a very good actor. Yeah, she's not. I mean, I listen. I have no problem with the actress. I have no problem with the actress personally. I don't know her. I just to confront Sophia and get on with her life, so she was building separate to confront Sophia and get on with her life. She was building separate from Tate. Oh, three, okay. But see, that's my whole thing, though, right? So, like, okay, cool. She comes back and she confronts Sophia, but like in all reality, Tate ain't shit, though. Tate ain't shit. Here's my whole thing. I don't feel like I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like she had to get enough reason to come back. I really don't. Um, she comes back. Ooh, Sean. So, like, all right, let's just sit there and say they continue with that course, right? What other soap opera would you consider watching if it wasn't General Hospital, Sean? If it wasn't GH, right? What soap opera would you choose to watch other than um GH? That's my question. None, I will retire. Oh, okay. I just I don't see a point of Holly coming back. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, I don't see a point of Leo being on the show. The only reason why I feel like Leo is on the show is because he's gay. That's it. No, I got you. I got you, Sean. I got you. It's better to sit there and just stop watching soap operas in general than I guess to pick something that you may or may not like, that you may not like. So I get that. Hmm. I always like to ask that question though, you know. Like if you was able to sit there and watch one other soap besides GH, what would you watch? Right? I mean, I watch all of them because I do the soaps, that's what I do. But like if I was only able to watch one show GH and you know, it would be YNR. Okay, it would be YNR. Okay. Like for me, it would be Days of Our Lives. You know, if I just stuck with GH and I was like, you know what, listen, GH is just going downhill, da 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 da. I'll be like, um, going downhill, whatever. I would watch Days of Our Lives because I always feel like Days of Our Lives is that only other show that can really sit there and compete with um with GH. So I would sit there and say her. I mean, I would sit there and say that show. Yeah, Rosemary. Like I said, I love Days of Our Lives. I love the characters and stuff. Why? Here's the thing. Y&R is good when you watch it for a while and you get used to the characters, right? It was like Why Not Today was just like, yeah, it's okay, it's cool, it's good, it's decent. Like, to be honest, General Hospital was just decent today. It was just decent today. It wasn't like it was super amazing. It was just decent. But what worked for me was watching the characters. Watching the characters made it worth it. I always sit there and say, like, I mean, I've said that lately. It's like, even, yeah, Rose, man, I like Days of Our Lives. I just always feel like, even Danny says it's hard for me to stick with YNR. I can go years not watching and not missing. What made you watch in and tune in to Young and Restless? I know for most people, like, if you can't get into, was YNR worth watching this week? Eh, not really. Not really. But neither was GH really. If we're gonna be honest, like, I mean, they all have their filler episodes. I think that's the thing sometimes. That's true, Ron. He does. He even had the catchphrase and everything. And I'm not gonna repeat it because I don't want to make it feel like I'm like being mean or anything. But and that's exactly, Domax. You gotta kind of like. Well, do you? Do you, Domax? I mean, do you really have to like the business stuff? Yeah, they talk about business this and business that and business meetings and stuff like that. But like, I was during Lily's Daddy storyline, stopped watching regularly when since then I haven't been able to stick around. Because I mean, the business part, yes. Um, but you also gotta like the character stuff too. Like, if I don't know, maybe it's just me, and maybe it's just me being an optimist. I feel like if you can get into the characters, then the business stuff isn't really that bad. It's not that great, but it's not bad either. It's just a different. I guess it's just a little bit different. I don't know. It made me think about. It made me really think about that. Dumbass says it's just a little too much business for me. I like it when it was a little more balanced. I think I've seen too many hostile takeovers. Got it. Ed says can't wait for Maxie to come back to see where things go because Maxie and Nathan are still married. Oh shit, you're right. He's been shacking up with a Spinelli's been shacking up with a married lady. Yeah, could do something different with the business story like Kane. Could have used the AI to mess with Newman and Chandler. That would be different for me, anyways. That's the thing. Dominic says I don't even know which companies do have the what the companies do have for time exactly. Like what does Newman do? Like they talk about Newman Publishing or Newman Media or whatever. It's like, so like, what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe I guess that's where Hollyoaks comes in from. Like, yes, and there's something else about um the Young and the Restless too. Like, everyone's a goddamn millionaire. Everyone has this. This is where GH really takes over, right? Elizabeth, unlikable characters. Um, Again, this is where GH kind of shines because you have Elizabeth. She's a nurse. Um, Willow, she's a nurse now. Like everybody on The Young and the Restless is practically rich, right? The Winters, all three of them are rich. Um, it becomes a little bit unrelatable in a sense. I think this is where Hollyoaks kind of works a little bit because Darren is a taxi driver, Nancy's a school teacher. It's not like everyone has their own companies and stuff like that. It's This is why I made a comment about hope on The Bold and the Beautiful. And of course, you had to have one person sit there and take my comment sideways. But I'm like, Hope lost her job. Hope lost her job. Is she gonna be living on the streets? Is she gonna sit there? Have a night, Sean. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Like nothing's going to happen to Hope that she lost her goddamn job, right? I love how Hollyoaks, the characters aren't wealthy like Steve and Sienna used to clean houses. The richest guy for a while was James because he was a lawyer. Yeah, everybody in Newman's is rich. I don't see like Sharon is kind of rich by association because her last name is a Newman. Phyllis ain't gonna sit there and be going out on the streets hungry or anything like that. So it just becomes. I mean, oh yeah, that's what I was meant to say. I was like, when Hope lost her job, I'm like, okay, so Hope is just gonna be home, just kind of chilling all day. Like it doesn't matter. It just becomes a little bit unrelatable. And I know soap operas are supposed to have a level of unrealistic, like it's supposed to be glamored up, but why not takes it to a point where it's like, oh, Adam got fired from Newman. Oh my God, is he gonna sit there and not be able to pay his rent? No, because he's a fucking Newman. So it's like, that's a good question about Dalton, and it's funny, Ed. So I want to know what happened to Professor Dalton. Did they drop that storyline? I don't think they probably dropped it because you got Emma there. Emma's not going to let that shit go. Um, that was kind of like her whole existence was to sit there and take this guy down. So I think they just kind of put a pin in it. I don't think it's actually done because that's the same thing with Britt, right? Like Britt got a dosage of her medicine that she needed from some mysterious person. So Brit services are still needed. And if Brit services are still needed, then Dalton services are still needed. I feel like at some point we're gonna start to get closer to to what's going on with this story. Domax says Hollyoaks are completely over the top, but they still make it relatable. I mean, that little village is probably dealing with its eighth series unaliving in 30 years. Yes, I saw the fact that it's been on for 30 years. Which is really impressive. Like even now with the budget cuts, because like you said, Dolomitics, they used to be on 5 days a week. It had a bigger cast. One second, Ron. It had a bigger cast, and they shrunk it from 5 days to 3 days, from an hour to 20 minutes, and they're still making it work. Ron says, I'm surprised that the actress playing Luna isn't threatened or attacked because of her character with all the hate her character's getting. Well, I mean, I'm happy about that. Shows some soap fans aren't that fucking crazy. Duane says, is Britt and Nathan being back from the dead coincidence? That's the question, right? What's good, Freddie? What's good, Queen of the South? It's good to see you. Domex says they used to do bigger stunts you should have seen when a tornado hit the village. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, Domedics. It's weird, right? So you've been watching the show longer than me, right? So you can kind of see the progress of the show. And for me, the show works as far as being 20 minutes and 3 episodes a week, right? For you, you feel like you're shortchanged, you know? You feel like you're shortchanged 'cause you're like, yo, what the hell, man? Like, I mean, seriously, can you imagine if they decided to cut GH, General Hospital, from 5 days a week to 3 days a week and make it like 30 minutes long? Because, that's what they did with All My Children and One Life to Live. Have a good night, Ed. Thank you for joining. That's what they did with One Life to Live and All My Children, is that they cut that shit in a fraction. Oh, it was always 30 minutes. Okay, cool. It's so good, Danny. I was saying yesterday, Dolometics have been trying to sit there and get me to watch that show for a hot minute. Um, for like years actually. And one day I was so fed up I was so fed up with The Bold and the Beautiful. I was like, nah, I was like, fuck this. I need to watch something else that's gonna like really, 30 minutes and actually being like worth my damn time. And the thing is, Danny, it's on YouTube. Like it's literally on YouTube, so you can literally just watch it for free. It does take a minute to get into though. Like there's a couple of things you gotta get used to though. You gotta get used to the accents, the lingo, and the characters. Like who's who, also the fucking names. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with that. Like it's not like the American soaps that will always sit there and say who this person is, who that person is. Like you kind of have to sit there and like you have to sit there like and either look it up or just hope that they sit there and say their names. Because that was kind of annoying. Like that was kind of annoying. I will call Vicky Grace and like Grace Vicky. I'm like, once you get all that sorted out and you get to know who's who and whatever, then it gets good. And the thing is, Dolomatics, I still don't really have any favorites. Like, yeah, I said that I like Claire because she's hot and she's dangerous, but like, I don't really have any favorites. I just really like the story, even when most of the characters kind of annoy the shit out of me, like Sienna and Cleo and Dodger too. Well, yeah, that if you listen, if you can deal with Leo Stark, which again I feel like he's only on the show because he's gay, um, you can you're definitely like campy. I don't think it was really that much to with what Beyond the Gates. I don't think it was really that much with Beyond the Gates to be honest. Besides a couple of those things. Danny says Leo Stark is awesome and there's more story for him. They need to bring back Demera? What makes him awesome? You know, never mind. I'm pretty sure you have your reasons. Uh, Domex doesn't like Sienna, but I remember when she was more calculating, kind of like Gwen from Days, but with less money and more snarky. Yeah, sounded like she was fun back then. I don't know. I'm just, I'm sitting there. I'm looking at Cleo. She's sitting there kissing Dodger, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? I know that you couldn't believe that she could have been a killer, and then you think that she's the killer. But I'm like, girl, you pregnant? You're trying to get Joel out of prison so he can sit there and help you raise a baby, and you're kissing on Sienna's brother. Like, the fuck are you doing? Like sometimes the characters will just sit there and just do annoying shit that I'm just like, okay. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Leo is just fucking there to be there. Like he had a fake pregnancy and drove Nancy insane so she could steal her life. Whoa, what the fuck? Now Freddie says Albert Willow should be grateful Michael has patience because he could just shut her out of the children's life for good. But he's being sincere. She's whining over a therapist being there. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like, girl, just be grateful and shut up. Like, yeah, like you doing too much. I mean, again, I don't personally think she should have lost her kids over a couple of those things that the judge said, but it is funny. I was at the thing. I wrote that today in my this is for why and with Mariah and Tess, right? I said this yesterday, and I'll sit there and say it again. The Young and the Restless does not care about Mariah and Tess. Okay, the fact that Tess and Daniel had a road trip was trying to get into what happened with Mariah, and all of that happened off screen. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that they actually give Martin and um Smitty any amount of time of them just being together as a couple. Because sometimes I just feel like CBS does not care about like LGBT stories. Like I am really surprised that they actually give those two a certain amount of time because I'm like this is and the thing is this isn't the first time that they had a Mariah and Tess storyline stuff that has happened off screen, you know? Like you put money into that goddamn train set of Kane, they built the set and everything like that, but you couldn't sit there and show a road trip with those two so that they're trying to find an answer for Mariah? Dominic says, I was shocked when they actually gave Smitty and Martin a love scene. Yeah. Then he says CBS doesn't like the gays or the first responders. Um, they made two shows. Well, they made a show called Fire Country. So I don't know about the second one, but the first one, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I usually fast forward through all the. I mean, listen, they showed a lovemaking scene with Mariah and Tess. Do I honestly feel like I feel that way about Deke and Remy. They got together, moved in to get her off the screen. Get her off the screen. Um, yeah, I don't know about the whole Remy thing. Like, They just randomly making Remy gay, like that just seemed like so left field. Like it really seemed left field. Um, and I do feel like people are gonna sit there and give Deke shit when he tells Hope and Brooke and Ridge find out that especially Electra finds out that Deke is dating Remy. They gonna give that man hella shit for that. Hella shit. But I feel like when B and B was Smith, they're trying to just make a statement. Oh, they're hooking up on screen. I just feel like they're just trying to make a statement. Like, oh, we support the LGBT community. See what we're doing on B&B. I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like, let me tell you something. I don't like this is something that Samuel and JOJ Media has sat there and said that has bugged the shit out of me. It's so weird that there's not one gay person that's shown on B&B that works in fashion. I'm like, why do I feel like you're stereotyping certain gay people? Like, I feel like that's what that came across as. Juwan says Electra is going to turn into Deke's mom. The fuck? Listen, okay, I'm not going to sit here and try to dissect that, but she has, of course, her own goddamn problems. I mean, she's not there supporting a goddamn rapist. So I'm like in all reality, she'll already cause her own problems. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Deacon um when he was sitting there trying to make her choose between her granddaughter and him. I wasn't a fan of the ultimatum. I'm like, bro, you don't you don't control how this woman she's going to try to ruin his love life. Hmm. I didn't like Ivory today. Ivory was pissing me off. Ivory was sitting there trying to practically make Electra second guess herself about her forgiving Will. And I'm like, here's the thing. Ivory's trying to make it seem like Electra is more the victim in this whole thing than um than Will. I said the same thing about no one gay working at. No, okay. Danny says I said the same thing about not one gay working at Forrester. I'm not saying all gay people are fashionists. I'm saying it's crazy that there's not more a variety of stylists. You know what I've said about that? I said the same thing about no Latinos also and Zende not being seen. One. You know what, Danny? I'm gonna sit there and say the same thing I said before, and everyone else already heard this. The reason why I don't like that comment, I'm sorry, the reason why I'm not a fan of that comment, especially in LA. Okay. That's like me sitting there saying, I can't believe in Atlanta there's not one black person that's in Popeyes. I mean, that's just fucking crazy. I can't believe in Atlanta, out of all places, there's not one black person that's in Popeyes. Like, I mean, fried chicken. What the hell? That's the equivalent of what. No offense, Danny. You and JOJ Media have practically said. I I get it. Just it's I mean, I think it's out of pocket for them to just not have gay characters on the show. That's what I will sit there and say. That's what I'll sit there and say. It's out of pocket for the Popeyes things is very racist. And the fashion thing is very stereotypical. It's is very but that's the equivalent of what you just said though. You're practically isn't they're trying to stereotype gay people by snitting. Well, not you, but that line comes across as stereotyping gay people by basically snitting saying that you know gay people are in fashion. You know, so I pretty much just applied the same thing as far as being a stereotype when it comes towards chicken and Popeyes. They're the same. It's not the same thing. You tell me that there's gay style. Danny says it's not the same. You're telling me that there's no gay stylist in LA. Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing, Danny Bear. Come on now. Let's not play that game. It's the same thing. Fashion is a career, Popeyes is a job. But you're still working though, and it still comes across as stereotyping. It, it still comes across as stereotyping. Come on, Daddy, it still comes across as stereotyping. It's it comes down to a stereotype. I think that's what the overall message is. Um, but it's pretty obvious that Deke is going to be Hope's designer. I don't understand why we have to sit there and mutter through most of the story to get to that point. I think that's the part that's just really annoying me. There's nothing to talk about. Hope has a lot of different applicants that they're trying to apply to sit there and be her designer. I'm like, why we gotta sit through this? Like we already know, and let's be honest, she messed things up with Thomas. And I can't stand that they're not really talking about that. Like, girl, the reason why you don't have a designer is because you try to mix business with pleasure. And then when you sit there and talk to everybody else, you're like, oh well, it's just me and Thomas have a bad history because of Beth. It was like you didn't have a bad history with Beth when he was sitting there rocking your goddamn world. You didn't sit there and talk about the history that you had with Thomas when y'all was sitting there being friends with benefits. So don't the fact that she wants to sit there and try to rewrite history to not make herself look bad as far as like messing up a great business career. Danny says another reason to not like Deke. He's taken Thomas's job. They made a big deal about Thomas being the only stars for hope for the future. You know? Oh, Danny, don't forget to sit there and say that. Um, what did you say? Oh, you said that you like Trevor St. John's, um, Todd more than you like Roger Howard's Todd. So, um, make sure you say that in your live stream. I'm not gonna forget. Like, I want you to sit there and say that level of blasphemy in your live stream. I mean, honestly, tell you the truth, I hope that you do your live stream a little bit later, but I will watch the replay now. I will watch the replay. I want to see some of the fans lose their shit. I want to see some of the fans lose their shit. I will gladly say that. Ooh, I will gladly say that Trevor is the best Todd ever. Mm, okay. Yeah, listen, chat. Danny Bear is being bold. Okay. Now I want everyone to sit there and see this. Hold on. That's right. Danny Bear is being bold. So she gonna sit there and say that shit. She gonna swear on a stack of goddamn Bibles. Okay. I love it. I speak the truth. Oof, okay. I'm not gonna forget. Like, I am not gonna forget. So, mm. I see. It's that type of bold attitude that wound up getting her 500 subscribers. So when she gets 1,000 something subscribers, Allison says Roger won an award for playing Todd. Not according to Danny Bear. Danny Bear is being bold tonight. I just want her to be bold when she does her live stream. Freddie says Isaiah's got on my nerves. He had the nerve to be up in Curtis' face, and he was the man who's sleeping with another man's wife and possibly could be the father of the baby of this is messy. You know, it's interesting that you said that, Freddie, because we were talking about that yesterday. This is one of those situations where you could be right and wrong at the same time. Yes, Freddie, we can all acknowledge that. Me personally, I looked at that. I was like, bro, you out of pocket. You in this man's face talking about how you taking advantage of his wife, but you are sitting there literally banging his wife behind his back and sitting there trying to morally grandstand. But with that being said, Freddie, he ain't wrong, right? He is using his position. Let's be very clear. He is sitting there using his position as Portia's wife to sit there and get in um Drew's room. And Isaiah's like, hey, listen, you want to sit there and pick a fight with this guy, that's fine. But if you cause any sort of upset, anything that's going to sit there and set this man's back, set him back recovery wise, it's gonna fall back on Portia. And even Britt backed that up. So Isaiah wasn't wrong when he checked Curtis of like you said, like the nurses are gonna sit there and stop you. The nurses are gonna stop you, and he was right. And Britt backed that up. It was one of those things where it's like his heart was in the right place, but hmm, his heart was in the right place, but he was out of pocket given what he's doing. But that's what I'm sitting there saying, Freddie. That's like well, it is his place though, in a sense. I mean, he's not like he works at the hospital. Curtis don't work at the hospital, so he's and the whole hospital is liable if Drew dies well, I mean, it's not even about dying, but even if he gets hurt or whatever, back pain, whatever it is, it's going to fall back on Portia. It's going to fall back on the hospital, and that's also his job. So, in a sense, it is his place because he works there. So that's that. Freddie, no offense, but that's not true. I would sit there and say that his heart was in the right place, but um he probably overstepped as far as trying to protect Portia's honor. That's where it comes like Portia could sit there and fight her own battles. But he wasn't wrong though. Like it is his place, it is his job. Girls don't work there. You may be married to Portia, but you don't work there. So and yeah, Danny, Drew should be guarded. Liz should not be sitting there telling Curtis what room that Drew's in. You know damn well what kind of history those two have, and you sit there being like, "Oh, no problem. I can sit there and just tell you exactly what room he's in." And Liz, are you out of your goddamn forehead? Like, what is wrong with you? So, yeah, Liz don't care. She should care though. Well, if we're gonna be honest, she should care. And that's her job too. And you know, the side thing is like Liz know that Isaiah was right. Isaiah is the type of person I would sit there and say one thing and be morally judgy. You know, as Freddie, I said the same thing, but I'm going to read it anyway. Freddie says he's right about the hospital policy, but as far as getting up in Curtis' face, knowing that he's sleeping with this man's wife, that's crossing the line. That's the point that got me upset. And I got that. I get it. I get it, Freddie. I do. Like I said, I've looked at both sides of it. I can see what you're talking about. You're not entirely wrong. But there's two sides to that whole thing, though, too, right? You can both agree on that, but I can see where Isaiah is coming from too. That's again, it's one of those you're right but you're wrong situations. Exactly. Yes, exactly what Danny said. Allison says considering he was shot and the perpetrator is unknown, Drew should have security. Yeah. What's good, Jonathan? Yeah, you shouldn't just be able to just walk on in and shit. Like, what are we doing? I feel so bad. I mean, Jonathan comes in basically when I'm about to sit there and end the stream. Because unfortunately, I do got to wake up early in the morning. By early, I mean 3:45. Yes, Jonathan. Yes. Fuck yes. Mm, I'll say another 5 minutes. Um, yes. Well, that's the thing, Jonathan. Yeah, she looked like Boo Boo the Fool. You know, Jonathan, I've said in my review, it's like she been looking like Boo Boo the Fool since day one. Since day one, Jonathan, she been looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Part of me is like, damn, that girl looked a little bit too fine to be sitting there acting like Boo Boo the Fool, being all insecure and shit. I'm like, girl, you know exactly what you signed up for. Like, you knew exactly what you signed up for. Like, oh, Jonathan, did you enjoy the flashbacks of 40 years? Well, Jonathan, here's the thing. I did as far okay, here's the thing. I'm kind of a fan of like old school clips, as you know. Right. So it was really interesting to sit there and see Melissa Reeves that young. Um, like she's been on there for like 4 years. Like that's a huge accomplishment. We had a job for 40 years, and it's weird too, right? Because like Melissa Reeves is not the only person. Jonathan, who's the other person that played Jennifer? I don't remember her name, and my tablet is charging, so I can't get to my tablet right now. Lisa, I thought Steffi was coming back this week. I know she's coming back. She might come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Oh, Katie McLean, thank you. I'm not gonna lie, Danny. That should piss me off. That should piss me off, Danny. Like, all because of a goddamn Karen. Freddie says Anna the PCP. Freddie says Anna and the PCP sucks. He didn't read the right address to do a research warrant for the gun. It was it was laughable. What will Cat do now? Probably with EJ. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan. It annoyed the fuck out of me. It was one of those things where it was like, you know what? Chad did what y'all annoying ass characters asked him to do essentially. So I'm like Jennifer, Julie, and Thomas, like all three can shut the fuck up now. Uh, Maybe. Yeah, that's an option too, Jonathan. Yeah, that's an option too. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan. I was annoyed with Thomas. Like, no child should be sitting there talking to their grown ass adult like that. DC, DC, what's good, DC? Jesus fucking Christ, DC some sanctuary. Let's everyone say what's up to DC. Exactly, Jonathan. So we on the same page. What's good, Deluxe? Exactly. We got DC up in the building. How the hell are you, DC? Supposed to have this goddamn collab, and I keep seeing it there. I seen Vicky. I mean Veronica and man. Listen, I will sit there and say this much. I'm glad you brought it out. I'm so glad that Nikki. I'm so glad that Ronnie is checking Tracy's entitled ass. Yep, that is correct, Jonathan. Dude is single and clearly not ready to mingle. Yeah, unless Abigail shows up. Hmm. It's amazing, Danny, that Rachel is becoming even more unlikable, even when she's not on even when she's not on the show, even when she's not in the episode, she still managed to become unlikable. You should think about that. Nobody showed up to her goddamn birthday party. Like she sat there with a bunch of grown ass adults. You know what? It's funny, DC, that you say that because like I don't know who the other king was like. So I don't have anything to compare it to. It's funny, DC. It reminds me of Spider-Quake, how he looks at Emma Ryans, right? Yeah, that sucks. We gotta sit there and deal more fucking Tracy. Um, Danny, Kristen has one friend. Okay, kind of two friends. Um, aka Beastmaster. Whoa, what do you mean about that, Jonathan? I remember that show. You was Beastmaster? See, there we go. Danny says the old Kane is the creepy professor on Julius. Why is he the creepy professor, Danny Bear? Tell the class. No, no. Wow. Okay. Tell the class why you think that Professor Dalton is creepy. Oh, DC, you should have heard Danny Bear earlier. She was being bold. She was being bold. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know where this side of you came from, Danny. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know. Tell the class. Come on, man. Come on. Danny, tell the class. What? Okay. You know what? Okay. I'm just gonna. He just seems creepy, especially in scenes with Emma and Josh. He also has weird nipples. Okay, so the weird nipples I could sit there and accept, but I guess we're just gonna not sit there and talk about how Emma was doing everything to be a goddamn thirst trap. But okay, you know what? Say what? Oh, hmm. So you're not. It's weird, Jonathan. Like, oh, I didn't show you any pictures. Shit. This one's good. It is her 40th anniversary. 40 years on Days of Our Lives. That's pretty amazing. I mean, well, 40 years at any job is pretty impressive. Danny be getting spicy. I'm like, the hell? How the hell we go from how we go from soap characters to nipples? Like, the hell? Oh, Jonathan knows history. It says 1985. Wow, that was 2 years before I was born. Jesus. No, DC ain't joking. He being serious. He ain't joking. Whenever DC sitting there saying that he's joking, he ain't joking. He being serious. He being serious. This is the one time. She unfortunately noticed. Danny Bear, you are one of a kind. Always know that. I would have put in the other actress, but it is shit. I haven't really been advertising this too much, but if you are not a member, make sure you become one. Um, we're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun this weekend. Jonathan brung a very fascinating character uh to my attention that I've been reading about. So Johnson says, "Do you think Theo and Ari might end up together?" I guess if the fans accept it. I think if the fans accept it. It's funny, Jonathan. We were just in there talking about that. Um, because there is an age gap between those two, right, Jonathan? Ari's 18 and Johnny Schnell, like he's around like Theo's around Johnny Schnell's age, which is in like their early 30s, right? So I really feel like it's going to depend on the fans, honestly, if they stay together. I mean, Johnson says there also is an age gap with Jack and Jennifer. Yeah, but this was back in the day before the internet and people whine and complain and stuff. Oh, Danny says technically Theo should be older than Johnny. Yeah, and Cameron should be older than Michael on General Hospital, but we don't apparently go by that shit anymore. Oh, Spencer should be around Michael's age if Michael's age or around Michael's age technically, but you're correct though, Jonathan. I just know how people are now. Listen, I was yeah, that's correct, Allison. That is correct, Amundo. Yeah, Rosemary, 40 years. Listen, 40 years at any goddamn job is a blessing. Johnson says the age gap could be a concern, but we should see, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like Jonathan, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Like, let it ride. Chick is 18. She's legal, so I don't see an issue. And also, besides what you call it, besides Holly, Ari's probably the only other person that's actually worth a damn. Tate ain't shit. Sophie ain't shit. Aaron ain't shit. Um, we all know why Felicity is still in the show, so I'm not. There's really nothing to sit there and say about that. So yeah, that's cool. DC don't even believe. You know what? Maybe that do. Oh, well, at least I'm still here. I just want to sit there and show some Jennifer. DC, well, listen, we gonna agree to disagree. He ain't shit. Why is Felicity on the show? Because she has Down syndrome. That's why she's on the show. And I feel like that's the only reason why she's still on the show. I mean, let's be honest. If they, and listen, I know that sounds bad, but let's be honest. If they actually want to sit there and give Felicity a um a story, they could do that. They can do that. DC, I said that before. That's nothing new. Come on now. We all already snipped there thinking of it. Well, I would love them to sit there and bring in Sydney. I would love them to sit there and bring in Sydney. Tate ain't shit. Tate ain't worth a goddamn thing. Freddie says I could be wrong. What if Willow took Edward's gun and planted it in Liz's house? I mean, Willow has been staying with Liz for quite a while. Some time now. It could be something different, but that's just my theory. Where did that theory come? Well, you just said it. Never mind. This is the first time. This is his first time saying it. No, it's not. No, it's not. I said that shit before. Let's be honest. Like I said, I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person that actually thought about that. I said that before. But yeah. I don't think, yeah, Lisa, I think her name is Constance, right? I don't listen, I don't think that she's dead. And that's really just because like I feel like that would have been on my news feed. That would have literally hit my news feed. Oh, Constance Towers, yeah. Yeah. Let's not even put that shit out there into the universe, if we're gonna be honest. I seriously do. I seriously don't like those tweets. I wake up in the morning. Yeah, she just retired. I was like waking up in the morning and they're saying that shit in my feed. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, being like, "What the?" Michael Fairman sit there and say something. Freddie says Willow might have planted in the house. Why would okay, I still don't understand why would Willow be the one to shoot Drew. I don't understand that though, Freddie. That's the part that I find it's very hard to grasp. Like, Freddie, here's the thing. I would believe that Drew would sit there and find a way to set it up where Drew shot himself. I mean, they can always sit there and do some retconning. It's not like GH is known for their amazing storytelling at times. So, or yeah, or maybe Drew shot himself to sit there and frame Michael. Krista, Carly was acting super suspicious yesterday in yesterday's episode. I don't remember yesterday's episode. I actually have to sit there and look at my notes. I don't remember that shit. But listen, the sad thing is that I don't throw anything out the window. When I found out that Willow was the one that was gaslighting Sasha, I'm not throwing anything out the window. Like I'm not throwing almost any theory out the window. But I guess we shall see in time. Okay, well, I've been putting this off long enough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Unfortunately, I do have to wake up at 3:45 in the morning, 4 o'clock. As sad as that sounds. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I should probably end it like an hour ago, but I want to stay a little extra longer. I will be back. I will be back tomorrow though. Same time, and I can actually probably stream a little bit longer since my mornings won't be so goddamn early. This was fun though. This is fun. I stayed way longer than I originally planned. And that is because of like seriously, that is because of y'all. If it wasn't, I would have probably ended around 9 o'clock. But y'all keep these streams fun. Have a good night, Allison. Have a good night, Danny. Have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night, Blackmon. Have a good night, Freddie. Uh, bye, Toma. Yo, DC is something else. DC is something else. Thank you, Rosemary, for being here. I always appreciate seeing you. Seriously. Have a good night, Allison. Yeah, Lisa. Take my ass to bed. Have a good night, Freddie. Thank you for joining. Jonathan, the Michael Baldwin of the stream. He says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chopper Bostic. Thank you. Thank you, Danny Bear. Make sure you sit there and say those bold comments in your live stream on Saturday. I will be sitting there checking the replay. Johnson says, good night, everyone. Hit the like button. You hit that goddamn like button because it really does help. Also, if there's a hype button on this video, make sure you hit that because like that does stuff. That helps out the channel. Have a night, Allison. Thank you for joining. Danny says, I will and talk about Greg is the better lucky. Ooh. Danny Bear is bold. See now, listen, with that type of attitude, you can sit there and see why she got past 500 subscribers. That's the type of attitude that would get you past 500 subscribers. Just remember that, people. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing each and every single one of y'all. Exactly, Allison. Exactly. Just take that. You know what, chat? Take that all in. Take that all in. Take it all in. Stanley Bear 87, people. All right. I will sit there. I will sit there and see y'all in tomorrow's live stream. Laters.